Welcome back to the Anachroschism. When we left off last time, the party was dealing with the aftermath of a very public attack, and Tessian was kind of helping the patrons, and everybody else was trying to make sense of what happened. So we returned to that scene in the lobby of Publica, and what would you guys like to do?
Hey, we had started going upstairs. Tessian was the holdover for checking on the people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going upstairs.
Nobody else helping the people? Got it?
I will probably check with a couple of people, but I'll also be making my way upstairs because I don't like this recent development.
Okay. Tessian, you eventually join them once things appear settled more downstairs?
God, I think Tessian considers it, but I think he actually wants to wait around until the Crusaders show up. I think he wants to do this so official-like as to completely obfuscate any involvement he has with Isaac, if that makes sense.
So you guys.
So I guess just go on without me, I guess, for now. That's while I'm late.
So you guys head up to your newer room, and the four of you are there, and a few moments pass, and Tessian does not appear to be showing up.
So really quick, I update everybody on who that was, who I gleaned that it was, and what he said. So that's like recap stuff. But then I'll say, I don't think this changes anything. I think we still try to find Sophia tomorrow.
I mean, we're not even sure that your father knows that we're here for this purpose. In fact, I would say that he doesn't know that at all, right?
That's what I'm not sure of. I don't think so. That's why I don't think it changes anything. I don't know how he knows it's me, but I don't think he knows why.
Right. I just think there would have been more emphasis on Aurora's presence had he known for sure. Though that does make things trickier if he reports that you were with her.
If he wanted to send... There's a reason he sent the message that he did, and he could have done it in a lot of different ways. I think this way he knows I'm in town. I don't think he knows why. Of course, this also means he knows I'm alive, which he didn't before. Now, as far as I can tell, general public also still believes that the son of... Faustridon is at least missing. So he's playing some game. I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't think it changes our course of action.
Seems like he plays a lot of games, doesn't he?
Unfortunately, he sure does. I have no doubt it's why he's in the position he's in now. I don't know what I want to go there tomorrow. I'm considering a lot of different things. What do you think if I alert the Crusaders? Maybe try to get their help. I feel like under the leadership of Kerash, they're not in Faust's pocket. And if we give them the location of what we think is promising for Sophia, they might help. But if they go in force and she's not there, that could have really bad repercussions.
It could, and it could have bad repercussions on the Crusaders to begin with, too. I don't know if they want to involve themselves in something so dangerous.
Is there someone from the Crusaders here that we know?
We'd have to go check. It's a good question. I don't recall. Randall was his name? Derek.
Derek Rothwell?
Rothwell, not Randall. Really, we only know Derek and Kerash, and I don't believe they were stationed in Lycidian. It might be worth checking, but I think it's a long shot. Lena, you're awfully quiet. What are you thinking?
Sorry, I was just lost in thought. I think if we try to do this tomorrow, we shouldn't stay longer than that. In light of what has happened tonight, it seems like we are targets here, and we should try to leave within the next few days if we can.
I think it won't take that long. I mean, honestly, I think we've found a real lead here, and if nothing else, I mean, there's breadcrumbs. I think this will take a lot less time than we may have initially thought.
Well, there's a duel. There's an event tomorrow that we've heard of.
Have you?
I think so. Who heard about it?
Just
We
Lena
have.
and Tessian.
You guys told me. You guys
Yes.
updated me.
Well, just yeah.
I saw signs. overheard somebody saying it.
Recap.
It seems like these generate a large crowd. I'm thinking maybe that's when we make our move to check this place out. If we're lucky, maybe it even draws the attention of some of the guards there, that they want to see what's happening, and maybe it'll be thinned out for us. I don't know, but it seems like that's might be the best time to check it out.
Yes, I doubt we'll have as good of an opportunity. I'll have some things to attend to in the morning, but I can assist you if need be.
I say we go all in here. That's my vote. We go in at noon. We sneak in. We try to find her. I will admit it's not the greatest plan. I'm at a loss, though. This has changed a lot of things. We're, I feel like, on a much tighter timeline now.
It's true.
Kerash, what do you think? Are you in?
Should we look at where we are going before we go tomorrow?
Scout the place out, you mean, a little bit?
Yes.
It wouldn't hurt, but we did it a little bit today. What are you thinking?
I did not have an idea.
Aw.
I want to be delicate, but I also want to balance the fact that we're under the gun now, and I don't know. I'm trying to do what's best for her while being aware that I'm the one who's complicating this matter, me and who I am.
I'm just a little concerned about our lead, only in that we didn't hear nothing, Isaac. I mean, I think we'll find some answers when we get there, but I don't know what those answers are going to be exactly. It might be worth doing some extra scouting. I don't know.
When do you think is the best time to do it? Should we go tonight?
I don't see any other time that we could do it. I wouldn't ask this of Lena, but it might be easier if there was a very nondescript character scouting, like a cat or something even smaller, might be useful.
I don't think that's a bad idea. You probably don't want to be showing your faces around too much in light of everything.
Especially not Isaac. I mean, if he's poking around and, his father gets word, he's going to put two and two together. He may have already done so, but I don't want to chance that at all.
Yeah. Also, we can put a disguise on Isaac. I don't know if we can, but if we can, that might help too.
I can't do that. I can only disguise myself, unfortunately.
Darn.
I still have
Right.
the mask, but at
You
this
do.
point, I don't know what my father knows.
Mm.
Couldn't
Right.
you just wear a hat?
I mean,
I'm struggling
It's
with
dark
how my father knows we're here, and he doesn't seem to have the whole picture, I would say, but he knows enough to know exactly where to find me. So I don't know. I don't know if he was tipped off by the dockmaster, or if I was just identified in town.
I
don't
don't
know.
I don't actually know how you would have been identified by the dockmaster. The only name on that ledger was mine, if you recall. And by sight alone, I don't know how you could have put that together. It's something else.
Do they know? Does your father know Grail's name?
No.
I wouldn't think so, but
I don't
at this
know why
point,
he
I
would.
don't know what he knows. I don't know how vast the network of information that he's pulling from is.
Yeah. Well,
I say we
at
go
any rate-
tomorrow, the four of us. And
what does that mean exactly?
I say we scout and we find out what we can see, but we be ready to act. And if we see an opening, we take it.
Do you think if Lena's willing, do you think her scouting ahead of time tonight would be valuable at all?
It's up to you, Lena. I would go with you, but
Well, we both know that's probably not a good idea. I can do it. Just tell me where. Also, we should tell Tessian about this before we do
well,
anything.
I'm not going to let you go alone. So
I can
Again,
accompany her as well.
my father knows I'm in town. I don't think he's keeping watch on us 24/7. I don't know how we'd have the means to do that.
It still makes me nervous.
Me too. I mean, Isaac, I really think you need to lay low, at least tonight, like until we make our move tomorrow. I would be more than happy to go with Lena.
Yes, I think that would be best. Try to lay low as best as we can, despite everything.
And I can also disguise myself as well. Again, if so.
Yes, that is true. I think we'll be all right.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
like it. If you're caught, there's two of you against whatever force they have in there.
But we're going to be, that's the potential risk tomorrow as well, but just with 2 extra people. I mean, if there's a large force there, there's not a whole lot we can do to begin with. And we're going to be, I mean, instead of barging in, we're going to be sneaky about it. No one's going to suspect a cat just wandering down the street, down the alley. I don't suspect so. We managed to get all the way down. We followed them the whole way, and they were none the wiser. So I don't think that they're expecting.
If we have a kitty, I can get close enough to cast magic, detect magic.
If you have a kitty, what does
Because
that have?
then the
Here, kitty,
yeah,
kitty, kitty.
yeah.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the big issue with Kerash cast and detect magic was there are people all over the city. If we go at night, chances are it's going to be a lot.
Well, if
less
Kerash
busy.
is going, I'm going with you.
Isaac.
I know you want to be part of this.
It's just too risky right now.
It's not too risky. Here's the fact of the matter. If he has eyes on me tonight, he's going to have eyes on me tomorrow. We basically have to operate assuming that he doesn't. If we operate assuming he does, then this entire operation is shot.
I don't think so. If you wait this out tonight, Lena and I go under the cover of night by ourselves, and you're here, and if you're being watched, he's truly none the wiser because you're not part of anything. When we actually go in and infiltrate tomorrow, then yes, that's true, but we're going to be doing that anyway. I think tonight we need to be as careful as possible.
You'll have to trust us on this. We'll
And
be
I
fine.
really do. I think that means getting the stealthiest person to go with, Lena, who can disguise herself as an animal. And I think that should be Lena and myself.
All right, do what you think is best.
I wonder what Tessian's going to think about this.
Should we tell him?
I think Lena has an obligation to tell Tessian what she's doing.
Yes, I'll make sure he knows before we go. Speaking of, where is he?
Unclear? I think he's downstairs still.
Okay.
Were
okay.
there
Find him.
any attractive elvish ladies in the bar?
Oh, dear.
Just the Shots song is playing in the background.
There's actually only one attractive female elf in the bar, but she's gone now. Her name was Agnes.
I was me.
And she had huge boobs.
Right.
I did,
And
and
thank God he wasn't interested in touching them because he would have found out real quick that was a disguise.
I know, but he was not. He was not at all.
No. All right, so you guys are going to, I guess, Lena and Grail are going to make your way down.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Tessie and figure out what he's doing.
Before that, I would like to take Isaac aside and just briefly just ask how he's doing, and also if he is opposed to what Len and I are doing and that he's not involved in this.
Do it in a conversation, because I don't know how to respond to like.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll ask quickly first. How are you doing? How's your head? How is all these revelations striking you?
I have a problem. I've heard the stories. I know the facts, but it's hard reconciling the man that I grew up with and who I've spent all those years under his wing is capable of something like this. Whether or not the messenger would have killed me. He had orders to open fire on his own son. It's hard to reconcile those two realities for me. It's a lot to digest right now.
I know, and this is another reason why I think it's best for you to rest, to relax, to lay low, and we can think this over in the morning and make sure this is what we want to do. But this is serious, Isaac, and I'm concerned about your safety.
This is good, actually, though. When the time comes, I was worried. He's my father, and will there be enough of the man left for me to make me want to hesitate? The answer now is no. There's not. And I won't.
I think that's the right attitude to have, unfortunately. This is no way for a father to treat a son, and it's appalling, to be completely honest. I think this is for the best. I think you're right, and I'm glad that nothing more serious happened to you. I'm gonna reach over and I don't know if you probably have a bandage on it or something like that. I don't know.
I don't need to, actually. I was asking about that, but when they heal it, it's totally healed. There's not even a scar, so.
So I'll just kind of reach over and kind of touch where the injury was, and I'm like, "You okay?"
I like to think I played it off kind of tough, but I was shocked and surprised, and it hurts a whole hell of a lot.
It looks like it hurts a lot. But I will say, Isaac, you've endured worse. I've seen it.
Yeah, I keep looking forward to the day when we're going to start winning some of these. We collectively, our group, and I feel like the populace at large are all we do is lose, and we're used to losing, and it's kind of the only thing that we know, and that's part of what keeps me going, is the day when we can actually start winning.
Well, that's the age-old story of the underdog. Everyone wants us to succeed, though. I think we'll get there.
Thank you, Grail. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I kind of go from hand to head to shoulder, and I pat your shoulder.
Yay.
Okay, and then I turn around and I kind of nod to Lena and I say, "Shall we?"
Yes, let's. And then we'll head down.
Okay.
I thought Kerash was gonna go though. Maybe no, that was.
I kind of nixed that. I was speaking for everybody, but yeah.
Take that, Kerash.
I'm sorry, Kerash. You're not stealthy. I'm super stealthy.
I'm going to spend the remainder of our time lecturing Isaac on not trying to pull his weapon on people that already have their gun out.
You actually are probably more familiar with firearms than everyone else here, except Isaac, of course. Yeah. But you've seen a few of these things before in your time on the seas. So it's actually not unheard of for you to have that kind of advice for him.
More importantly, shoot first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Be Han Solo. Well, one version of Han Solo, but not that other one.
The better version.
Right.
I'm gonna have, so once they leave, I'd like to really quick have a question for Kerash.
Okay.
Kerash, I have a question for you.
Another one.
If you had to kill a bad man to earn something good, would you do it? That's a stupid question. Of course you would.
Yes, that is a very stupid question.
Thank you. I think I might know what I need to do. And with that, I'm going to get up and I'm going to leave.
Please do not go fighting the man with the gun again.
Well, the internet certainly skipped there.
You sounded like a slow motion robot
Yes.
underwater.
You'll watch the video back later, Mike, and you'll see. But boy, it was a doozy.
Your programming is faulty.
Please do not go. Oh.
So
My roommate is playing the X of the box.
Yes, I get you every
Come off
time.
his Fortnite.
So, Chris, my goal is going to be to tail Lena and Grail,
Of course.
unfortunately. And, but also, I mean, I'm aware of what their suspicion is. I really don't think that's the case. That Isaac really does not think it's the case that he is still being watched, but he's going to try to remain vigilant. So looking around for someone who's watching him and also trying to follow them from a distance.
Okay. Tessie.
Wait. Before we go downstairs, I am going to do a disguise self spell once more. I'm going to take on essentially the same form that I had before, but with red hair.
Hey! I say it looks very pretty.
Lena, are you starting as human or?
I'm going to start as human so we can tell Tessian what we're doing, and then from there, probably transforming outside or something in a alley way.
Okay.
My favorite spot.
Tessian.
Yes, it's me. I'm Tessian.
Hi. How are you? Good. So
Yes.
we are shifting downstairs now. You spend a little additional time just making sure everybody's okay or as okay as they can be. Once that is done, the person behind the counter that you talked to, she heads over to talk to the Crusaders. Even with the trolleys, it's going to take a little bit of time. So maybe, the majority of the time that they were talking upstairs passes, but she eventually comes back, and she has somebody you don't recognize with her, but in a uniform you do. At this point, the Crusaders' emblem and particular garb has become well known to you. But she introduces herself to you because the person behind the counter, the woman who was working there, essentially leads her in your direction. And she says, "Hello, I'm Anne Montague. I'm with the Crusaders. I understand there was an incident here. I'm just trying to find out what happened. So what can you tell me?"
I don't know how much we want to go through it, but Tessian basically tries to sum it up. He's like, well, I was here playing a card game. The rest of the patrons were going about their business, and there seemed to be some sort of altercation in the doorway, which led to a man, and he will describe the guy. So, tan duster. I don't know how much of his features we could figure out, but, he describes roughly his height and humanoid, maybe elven or human. And this man fired a firearm off in an attempt to either kill or wound one of the other patrons. And he's like, you can even see the bullet. He kind of points out where the bullet hole is. He's like, I tried to apprehend him, but was unable to. It seemed to perhaps be a personal scuffle between the two men, but it's like this other one clearly had no problems whatsoever with firing a weapon off, discharging it into what could have potentially been a crowd of people.
And she's like jotting all this down in a notebook that she actually has. Just as you're listing off different facts and details, she's taking note of pretty much all of them. And she says, "Did you overhear any of the conversation, anything about what set this off? Or was it just sudden? Do you have any idea?"
And he's like, unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure what set it off. It did seem to be something personal, like I said. The other man, who I know somewhat, had said that the other man was dangerous. He shouldn't be messed with. When I tried to intervene, he definitely seemed to be afraid for his life and for mine and the others if we were to antagonize the shooter even more. So I suspect that he's a very dangerous man, or at least came off that way.
I'm still jotting down notes. Takes her a moment as she finishes. She looks back up. She says, "Can you tell me which direction he was headed?"
Yes, but I don't know exactly what direction it was. But whatever that cardinal direction was away from where we are.
Yeah, it was north towards the center of town with the tower and whatnot.
Okay.
So you did see that,
Yeah.
So you can pass that information on. She jots it down as well.
And Tessian will try to describe the weapon he had in detail as best he can. And he... then he'll kind of see what she says when he's describing it, the weapon.
She is a little taken aback by this. And she kind of even mentions, she said, that's a bit unusual. It's not the first we've heard of people wielding such things, but they're definitely uncommon here and elsewhere. It may help us identify him a bit more, because if we don't have a lot to go on in the face, perhaps this duster, this weapon, that'll be help in identifying who this person was. Then she says, is there anything else you can tell me? I mean, everybody here seems to be okay. No one was hurt besides this one individual, and he never came back. The situation resolved after that?
Tessian nods. He's like, well, at least so far, it's only been, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, something like that.
Thereabouts. 30, 35, yeah.
He's like, it hasn't been too long, but the man did seem to, at least from what I saw as he walked away, he appeared to have made his point and was leaving quite promptly.
She's still just writing down things furiously. She says, well, thank you very much for your information. The Crusade will get on this and see what we can find out. My suggestion is keep a low profile for the time being, just in case. It doesn't seem like he had any vendetta with anyone else here, but just in case there was some other purpose for this that we don't know about yet, just you and she's also talking to the woman behind the counter at this point who's, standing nearby. She's like, just tell the patrons here that we're going to do the best we can to find out what happened, but just in case anything, we're the targets of this for some reason, even though it doesn't seem like it, just tell them to be careful. And she kind of just nods. She goes, yes, of course we will, and we'll see about comping their rooms and just do whatever we can to help them feel as safe and as relieved as possible. And she looks at Tessie and she goes, is there anything else you can tell me? If not, I'm going to start my investigation and see what we can find out.
And Tessian is just, he's like, unfortunately, I'm not too sure how much more I could say. I do appreciate the Crusaders helping with this. I've had some run-ins with your group before. A man by the name of, it was Cavus, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cavus the Vigilant. He has assisted my group and I previously, and he's been a great help. I don't know if it would be relevant to inform him what's happened here, but who knows? I do know that I trust him in these sorts of things.
There is a spark of recognition at that name, and she says, oh, you guys know Cavus, do you? Well, that was interesting. Should I tell him that you're here? Is there a name I should pass on to him?
And he's like, well, I'm not sure, but yes, I'm Tessian Black, and of course, be sure to let him know that we were here when this incident happened.
I will do that then. Thank you. Cavus is kind of a inspiration for all of us, so I'm glad to hear that you've actually interfaced with him. That's not a lot of people have a chance to have a personal dealing with him. He kind of works on behind the scenes stuff more often, so I'm glad to hear that he's found someone else that he could confide in to some degree.
And Tessian's still trying to kind of play this off as like, basically he wants to see if he can tip Cavus off to this, but he doesn't want to tip his hand. That's what he's doing. So
right.
He's sort of like, he's like, yes, Cavus has been a great aid to House Black, and I would of course trust this investigation to be solved with his aid. Not doubting your own investigative abilities, but we just met.
She says, of course, but I actually don't know if he's in the city today or not. He comes and goes so frequently, but if I finish things up and I go back to headquarters, I will check in and see if he's around and see if he has any interest in following up.
He's like, well, thank you. Montague, was it?
Yes.
And he shakes her head. He's like, well, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Now, if you'll excuse me, and she immediately starts to leave the place. She's apparently taken the summation she needs of here, and she's now eager to follow whichever direction he went to see what she can find out. So she's heading to the exit.
Okay.
And as she does so, not too many moments pass before you see Lena and Grail come downstairs. Grail looking somewhat familiar but different, but still close enough but you're like, that's probably her, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a busty elf, yeah.
It's like my calling card now.
Yeah, we all know you have a type.
It's true.
It's her persona.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so I'm gonna let Lena talk to Tessian.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm just gonna briefly explain what we discussed upstairs about scouting that strange building that you guys identified earlier today, and then potentially using the duel tomorrow at the Coliseum as an opportunity to perhaps infiltrate and figure out if Sophie is there or if we could find any other information pertaining to her or anyone else was captured.
And Tessian's he's like, are you planning on joining them tomorrow, Lena?
Yes, I think so.
Do you think that's wise?
Well, in light of what happened, it would be better if we could leave, but I do think that this is a good opportunity to at least try and gain a better understanding of what's going on, and then perhaps we can move forward from there. But my thought is Isaac has been identified, and we should make sure that he stays low, and we haven't really been identified yet. We have... What am I trying to say? We're not targets. Not really yet. So if I go, then at least I can help this succeed.
Tessian's like, well, he will be going with you tomorrow, of course. He'll still be in
Yes.
danger.
Honestly, I feel like we're in danger no matter what at this point. I think we at least have to try, and no matter what happens, we can...
So, where are the two of you going now?
We're going to that building to scout it out, see what we can't find.
Just the two of you alone?
Well, it was my idea. I kind of like butt in a little bit, and I say, I feel like the least amount of people that are doing this initial scout, the better, and the easier it'll be tomorrow, since it seems like Isaac has his heart set on this, and I'm not trying to throw him, under the wagon or anything like that, but I think we need to have as much information going into this as possible, and I think we need to be as quiet as possible when doing this.
And Tessian kind of looks a moment, he kind of eyes Lena for a second, sort of is she sure about this? Then he looks at Grail for a second. He sees that you guys are pretty serious, and he puts a hand on Grail's shoulder, and he's like, "I'll trust you with this, Grail, but I need you to look after Lena as though your life depended on it."
I would never do anything less.
And he nods, and then he looks to Lena, and he's like, "Be careful, both of you, and patrons, watch your step."
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do...
I'm scared.
I know, right? As soon as we get outside, I am going to cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go into like a back corner somewhere and transform into my cat form.
All right. And you guys just start heading in that direction?
Yep.
Yeah, I will need Grail to guide me probably because I haven't been
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to just kind of walk with purpose in the direction that I recall from where we were earlier that day. Are the trolleys running this late?
They are.
Okay, I mean, it was far enough that we should probably take one, right?
You certainly can, yeah. I mean, it's going to be probably 3 times as long walking otherwise.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I can just kind of like put Lena in my arms and walk around with a cat because, hey, that's fun. I'm sure there's weirder things that happen in Lycidian, so yeah.
You do get a couple of strange looks. The trolleys are not nearly as full as they were before during the day, but there are still
Yeah.
a decent amount of people out and about. And a couple of them give you kind of a side eye when they see you just carrying a cat on, but nobody really says anything about it. They're just kind of like, well, whatever.
I'm gonna like talk to Lena as if it was my little coochie coo, my favorite little kitten ever, and just like kind of ham it up as like a crazy cat lady a little bit.
I'll be purring.
That seems like it's a stretch.
Yeah.
Not a stretch at all.
The number of people looking in your direction increases slightly, but still no one seems too concerned about your business here. Since the cat seems well behaved, everybody's like, okay.